Welcome to our weekly Icarus patch notes, week 186. I'm here with Carl, so I'm gonna hop over to Discord. Hey my man, how you doing?
Doing good in you?
Not bad, not bad. Weekend again, new patch
Yeah,
notes, new update.
indeed. Some small things, but some interesting things
Yeah.
nonetheless.
So we're at week 186. We got small pouches this week. We got small pouch in 10, blue, red, and green. We have added a 6 slot small pouch that you can customize into 10 red, green and blue variants. Or actually it's 10 by default and then you can make them the
Customize
other
it up.
colors.
Mhm.
It's a new customizable small pouch which comes in 10 as the base color but can be crafted into red, blue and green variants using paint at the mortar and pestle. Now these pouches hold up to 6 items, helping you have a cleaner and simpler inventory with more storage layers. We've also got some updates on the work going into the Great Hunts missions, which we're exciting to be releasing soon. A couple of notable improvements, some more buffs to the cave worm and the sandworm javelin damage, and a continuation on the liquid storage weight costs. Liquid storage from portable tanks to water skins has significantly reduced weight when not filled. We already saw this in last week's update. A portable biofuel tank, for example, if it's empty, it weighs 1 kilo. If you put 150 liters of biofuel in, it weighs 151 kilos. Milk bottles so far don't have the dynamic weight though. But things like canteens and
Yep.
water tanks and
Thermos.
everything, they do.
Mhm.
Now this week we get small pouches. This week we're adding a small pouch with 4 different colorways so you can mix and match to your stylistic content. The pouch comes in 10 as the base color. It requires 5 rope, 20 leather and 5 iron nails to craft. And from there you can upgrade it using paints to make the red, green and or blue variations. To craft a colored one you will need 110 base pouch and 5 paints in your color of choice. Actually it's just color paint, not a color paint. But you can do this at the mortar and pestle and this also on the forge and on the foundry. Now the small pouch is unlocked in tier 2 and is crafted at the textiles bench. These pouches hold 6 items and help compartmentalize your inventory. This will help you carry more items, but you will still have to monitor your total weight as this is not impacted. So the weight doesn't magically disappear when you put items in a pouch. Now pouches can store all items except utility slots, the G slot. You cannot stack pouches and noxious materials cannot go into the pouches either. So if you go in Prometheus, you have the noxious crust or you have the infected bark or whatever that's poisoning you, you cannot put those items in the small pouches.
Mhm.
Still, it's gonna be nice. You can carry spare ammo,
Well,
spare,
that's the thing now.
but it will
So,
not reload from the pouch. You have to, if you want
that's the
to
thing.
use the ammo to reload, you have to have your base inventory. But you can carry extra stacks in the pouch.
Yeah, but there's obviously like, yeah, you could definitely do it to like top up your main stack after and during fights. So
Uh,
definitely would save at least a bunch of slots for me. So yes, a spare ammo
so for
patch for all my
the
double
machine,
stacks.
the submachine gun, right? You
Yeah.
can fire like 5 stacks of rounds before it breaks. So you
Yeah.
bring 5 stacks of rounds.
Well, didn't they
Now
change it?
4 of
Didn't they
those
increase
stacks,
durability?
no, this is after the durability change. Before the durability
Oh, okay.
change, you could only have like, well, a stack and a half or
Okay.
so before it broke.
Okay. Well,
But yeah, you
regardless, yeah.
can, if you carry 5 stacks of pistol ammo, you can put 4 stacks in a pouch and 1 stack in your inventory. That
Mhm.
way you only use 2 slots instead of 5. So you will be saving slots there. You will have to regularly top off your main inventory from the pouch, true, but at least it won't take that many slots in your main inventory. Now, as far as I know, there is no limit of the amount of pouches you can put in your inventory. This opens up a very real possible issue, because I can get up to 78 inventory slots. Take away the modules and armor pieces, so whatever. I still have like 70 slots. Say 65 slots. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I put 65 of those pouches in, this will increase my inventory to 390 stacks.
We can now carry the base without worrying about slots. That's basically the point.
But what will happen if I die? The death loot bag, I definitely hope they increase the death loot bag size.
Nope, they're just gonna lose all the items. So
this
is
is going to be a real issue, unless the pouch with content is in the death loot bag.
Well, like I said, that's possible. Yes, that would make sense because you don't lose the item. But I haven't seen, what happens with your medical satchel after you've died, for example. Does all the
items
just
is
stay
still
in
in
it?
the medical satchel. The same goes for the seeds pouch, farmer
I would
satchel.
expect the same with the rest, realistically. So I don't expect much to have been changed from that perspective.
Yeah, we will see.
But yeah, we'll see.
It shows us here an image of the small pouch. Convenient 6-slot pouch for general use. Right click to access pouch inventory. Basically as the same as your ammo pouch, etc. So the ammo pouch, the medical satchel or the thermal satchel. It's interesting. This screenshot was made on an account which has like access to something extra. I see here a work in progress and the dollar sign, meaning this is an unlock from a DLC. Maybe for the Great Hunt, giving us new kind of
there
bench.
on the screen.
Yeah.
Well, I don't see with the picture at the moment that you're referring to. I'm on the Steam page.
Okay.
So
maybe it's from the Great Hunt DLC, or maybe it's from the New Dangerous Horizons DLC. I don't know. We will. Oh, we'll see in time. Anyway.
Yes.
Coming soon. Great Hunts, bosses, and mission chains. We have seen in the future content already the multiple missions per animal type. So a couple of weeks ago we talked about how it internally delayed the launch of Great Hunts so we could make some improvements to the experience before we released it. Now, in that time we have done a semi-overhaul of the UI, balanced and tweaked the boss encounters, improved the combat experience, buffed mission rewards and added new bases, quest objectives and unique creatures to each different quest. We're also completing a lot of bug fixing and testing, with the team playing daily and reporting back on any blocker or even small inconsistency that we can quickly address. We'll have new details to share with you soon, so keep your eyes on our update posts and ask questions of us in Discord also. And yeah, I've seen posts in some of the Discord channels. They are definitely doing a lot of work on the Great Hunts. And the latest, what I've read there, would suggest that they are closing on releasing the Great Hunts DLC. Then again, they were initially planning to do it last week or 2 weeks ago already, but I believe they said something like, hey, the missions are now basically all done, so do have a look for the closed beta test. Looking promising.
Yeah.
Next week, Prometheus effects on workshop gear, and this is going to be a nice one. Next week we are adding a range of Prometheus effects to elemental weapons from the Orbital Workshop that are released with the New Frontiers DLC. These are effectively buffs or perks that are logic and lore relevant. So for example, fire damage workshop gear will gain a chance to smelt or cook instantly. So as if you would make an obsidian pickaxe, for example, where you have a chance that if you mine ore, you get like instantly the smelted ore. Frost damage workshop gear will gain a chance for frozen ore, frosted wood or chilled food. Again, you can make the cold steel tools in Prometheus, which will give you this proc as well. But there is like frost workshop gear, which yes gave you the frost damage upon hitting an enemy, but never doing anything on the resources. Also, poison damage workshop gear will gain an opportunity to gain noxious crust, acidic glands, or infected bark. I've tested this out a while ago where I got the poisonous X on non-Prometheus, so on Styx and or Olympus. I never got any infected bark. Now, however, coming next week, finally the eternal struggle for epoxy will be over. Yay! Hey Josh, indeed, hype man, I know. Next update is gonna be great. No need for Prometheus except the reds. Indeed. Don't get me wrong, you will need red exotics to buy these workshop items. So you will still need to play Prometheus. But at least you can now get these effects on the other maps. Like I said, finally the eternal struggle for epoxy will be over once you get a poison X from the workshop. And you can start cutting down trees and can start getting the affected bark. I mean, it does mean you'll have to put organic residue cleansers in your Olympus and Styx base, but it's going to be very nice. Epoxy no more issues, but I guess some people find it fun to grind and make an Arctic outpost to farm mammoths. Yeah. I mean, I've done it as well, where I was like, okay, now I'm gonna take the buffalo and cart and farm a couple of mammoths so I can bring back a bunch of tusks. But it's a bit. I mean, it's fun to do, but and you can get like all mammoth trophies around your base. But the infected barks are gonna be way easier. Now, your support makes these updates possible. As usual, if you want to support the dev team, do get yourself some of the DLCs there. Yours is going to be loving the Zebra Rescue mission from the Pets bundle. Yeah, this is the one where you get the zebras for mounts. Indeed, right? Or you go for the complete set bundle, which is a dynamic bundle. Basically, looks like what don't you have yet? That's what I'm gonna add. Oh, you already got them all DLCs? Yeah, same here. Same here. But yeah, if you wanna support the devs and enable them to keep on working on the game and improving the game, give new content, uh, do consider buying some DLCs there. Because all DLCs, even though I haven't done the Zebra mission yet, hey, you saw it yesterday? No, the day before when I did it. Actually, Tuesday I did it. The Zebra mission. Right, some new content here basically is the pouches unlocked and like initially you were able to like stack the pouches and you could like infinitely stack them. They fixed that.
Yep.
You weren't on yesterday? No, I was on yesterday. I wasn't on 2 days ago. It was Tuesday and Thursday where I did this mission. Fixes. The heavy obsidian armor unlock being called heavy chest armor.
You
I
mentioned it now.
mentioned this last week.
Mhm.
Yeah. So that has now been fixed. Future content. Let's quickly go through those.
I'm interested in the first one, which is an improvement to the sniper rifle impact bullet. Now, I'm not sure if that's referring to like the hunting rifle or like any type of normal with a scope attachment, or if it's specific to the new big sniper rifle. But I'm hoping that any changes to it would make it feel less laggy and more snappy kind of stuff. But we'll see. But
I
I
would
think it's probably the new
hopefully
one.
say it's the hunting rifle.
Yeah, but I think it's referring to the sniper one because yeah, we'll see. But it should be fine.
I remember I was out with the
Um,
bike yesterday whole day. As soon as I got home, went to bed. That's why I missed you yesterday. Ah, okay, no problem, man. Indeed, it was 3 days ago where you were watching the stream. Let's see. Resave damage ship. Adding additional wounded NPC breathing audio.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, it's
oh,
basically
add
the
base
the
setup for
sniper rifle.
legendary sniper and bow alteration stats. What is legendary?
Mhm.
Huh.
Oh. And saying that they shortened the bullet sound of the legendary sniper rifle. So yet again, it's not,
Yeah, the
I think,
legendary
the
one.
and the animation. So it's just, I don't think it's got to do with the hunting rifle. A whole bunch
Uh,
of changes for
There's the
missions.
rock golem missions, the chlorite.
Mm. Let's see here.
Fix an issue where the sandworm crossbow was
Yeah.
inheriting the rifle stats instead of the bow stats.
All
This has now
right.
been fixed.
Oh no, they're adding a sniper rifle ammo type. Darn it, that's not good. So you have to
Yet
have
another type of bullets, yeah.
yeah, I need to carry around. Thank goodness for the ammo pouches, but
Oh yeah.
jeepers, I already have so many freaking different types of freaking ammo. It's not
So
even close.
carry less types, less different
No,
weapons.
well, no, I need all the weapons,
True,
but
true.
I assume in this case it's just, it probably just means it's a 50 caliber type of classification of like big ass round, basically. So,
I would say yeah.
yeah. A legendary recurve bow asset. That's interesting, but that's probably the sandworm. Okay, the
To the living weapon. Living
living
weapon
weapon
upgrades and
upgrades.
measurable data tables. A sandworm is
Yeah,
crossbow though.
yeah. I know there was the one thing which was also like a sand bow, but I can't recall.
A sandworm is a crossbow.
Updating and naming of a
Hmm.
legendary recurve bow core piece. So yeah, so it's a bow by the looks of it, which would actually be pretty cool because I didn't actually see a bow. I think there was like mostly like crossbows and all those kinds of
Now,
things. So maybe there is a bow, or maybe
next
like a
to the
module for it.
legendary weapons, there is gonna be other legendary stuff as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Remember, like how the ape throne
Hmm.
has been mentioned, for
Yeah.
example. And I think things like Black Wolf armor.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
So there might be another recurve bow, which is like you need stuff from the legendary beast, but it's not a legendary weapon as such.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe close to it, but I
Yeah.
think that's what they're referring to living weapons, so it could be just a naming one. But I do see that they reduced some damage buffs of the revolver, which is probably the Black Wolf revolver or something
Yeah.
like that, from 30% to 25. So they are adjusting and tweaking things still slightly.
So this is one of the handle types.
Yeah,
So
I
one
would
of the
assume so.
upgrades.
Exactly. There's probably, obviously there's different modular ones that you have to play around with, that affect
Yeah.
reload speed or clip size or all these
Well,
things.
the
So
handle
any
is
of them.
for the damage.
No, but it could also be like for magazine sizes and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like so there's
The
just
one
multiple
below
things.
the chamber ABC that moves the
Oh,
item
yeah,
wear
okay.
and reload stats from the chamber.
Oh, the chamber
Chamber
wouldn't
A now
like,
hits much harder and high
yeah,
chance of slowing, where the
yeah.
chamber C fires much faster, has a chance to burn,
Hmm.
where the B is a safe middle ground and fairly even
Yeah.
in terms of DPS. So are you gonna go for slower, harder hitting round with a chance of
Mm.
slowing, or are you going for the faster rate of fire but less damage, but
But
give a
burning.
chance of burn? Or are you gonna
Yeah.
go for like, you know what, neither of those, I just wanna be like in the middle.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, like I said, I have to feel what the gun plays like, so it's
Uh,
just the way it
but
is.
it does give you an idea of what all the legendary weapon upgrades are gonna be, how it's gonna work.
Yeah.
Reduced Ice Mammoth head crit hitbox size as it was far too easy to hit.
It's got a big head, so yeah.
True.
probably means that you need to hit it in the eyeball or something like that, or in the tip of the snout. I have no idea where you're gonna, that's going to be doing no damage because there's no
Somewhere
critical
between the
things there.
tusk, because if you hit the tusk, it is not going to do any damage or something like that.
But that's more than a table size worth of freaking
Oh,
space because it
true,
is a big
true.
ice mammoth. So I mean, yeah, good luck. It's not like it's you know maybe they should maybe just toughen certain areas. So yeah, the eye would be pretty much the only point of critical hit, like crit, because it is got a thick hide basically.
Yeah, but if you have armor penetration rounds,
Hmm.
should go through the hide.
Yeah. I see that added a 100% break chance to the quarite gun projectiles. I was just thinking, why would they? Did they have anything less than 100% on the
Well,
projectile? Would you have been able to
so
pick up the little
so
pellets of the
if you shoot an animal, you kill it. The
Mhm.
arrow, which does not have 100% projectile break chance, the arrow
Yeah,
is gonna be in the loot.
yeah. But
Loot.
this is a
Now,
gun
gun
projectile.
rounds is
Yeah,
100%
yeah.
break chance, so you won't
Yes.
find the bullets. Like there is this simple pistol with the little lead balls. When they
Yeah, yeah.
introduced that one, they had
Mhm.
a I don't know like 80% break
Yeah,
chance, so there was a chance that you could recover them bullets.
yeah.
I'm not
Interesting, because
sure
that's
whether it's still the case or
well,
maybe they changed it to be 100% break chance in the meantime. But
could be.
you could end up with like okay, you skin the animal and then you
Get your bullet back, yeah.
there was a little bit of a chance that you could get the bullet back.
Okay. Makes sense, but in
Now the
this case, it
Corite
just
gun
surprised. Yeah.
apparently is gonna shoot stone,
Yeah.
to ensure
In
stone
this,
isn't added to the carcass.
well, that's the thing, and that's the current change. But it was
Uh,
just surprises me that it wasn't 100%. But
I don't know.
this is
Return the ape to its higher health level. Now that the 60 seconds of 80% projectile damage reduction has been removed from the boss.
I guess I probably had like a phase where it had like a high damage resistance to
Yeah.
projectiles at some point.
And
So
indeed, last week's Patchnotes was stating something about the base health of that they were messing with the base health of the ape, and also with the the skilled
oh,
health increase.
yeah, they fixed the bug where the killer throw talent worked on bosses or epic creatures. So I presume
Um,
that they flagged it that it doesn't. I think the killer throw is a spear thing where there's a
no,
chance
it
to
should
one
not
shot it.
work. The killer throw, I assume, is one hit kill.
Yeah, but
You
that's
don't
the
want
thing.
that
So
on one of them epic creatures.
no, exactly, but that's my point. So it's in the patch fixes. So they fixed the bug where the killer throw worked on boss epic
So
creatures,
it's
and
no
it's
longer
much
working on the
correct.
boss's epic
That's the
creatures.
point.
Good.
Exactly, that's the
They did
fix.
update the talent description, Killer Throw talent description though, to show that it requires a stealth attack.
Ah,
Behavior hasn't
interesting.
changed, just wasn't previously communicated anywhere.
Ah, that does help.
You have the 2.5 times stealth damage, so
Mhm.
stealth attack. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll rock all the mission changes,
Yep.
landmine changes. Added an is valid check to ensure the landmine isn't trying to set non-existent dynamic materials. Interesting.
Wasn't there something about landmines using different materials or something?
I
I mean, it was
don't
for
know.
the armor of the I think the rocket golem, where you could eat different materials lying around and get like the gold armor or an oxide armor or something. But I
Mm-mm-mm-mm.
seem to recall having seen something about landmines and minerals, but I only seen it once, a long time
I
ago.
can't recall either, but yeah, regardless, it's just a playing around with landmines. But yeah,
Oh yeah.
and they increased the Rock Golem's melee damage bonus on hard from 15 to 20, so it hits a little bit harder. So apparently they just
And
on
also
hard
the
difficulty did
per
more damage.
player health or armor bonus has been increased from 33 to 50%.
Yeah, so that's fun.
And yeah, its melee damage on hard difficulty has been increased, and he's more health, the more players you have, etc. Yeah.
Mhm.
But then again, we don't want it to be too simple, hey?
Yeah.
This some work on the nav mesh of the animals. Don't get
Yeah,
stuck behind a little rock and such.
true. Tons of changes on more additional changes to
Update the
the
rock
actual
golem
map.
gauntlet to
Yeah,
use biofuel and updated all the
interesting.
upgrades. So biofuel powered gauntlet.
Mm-hmm. Well, with your changes to the rock emission.
Reduce the worm spawn frequency and increase the time it takes for worms to move, so make it slightly easier for the players. Yeah. Reduce the max worm count at any one time based on scaling from difficulty and player numbers, so more players join in, more worms are gonna pop up whilst you're fighting the rock golem.
So there's some sort of pillar spawning into certain missions.
I am Ice Mammoth.
Yeah, because it's like the boss can now walk through the pillars to prevent him from not being able to get into caves, and for players being able to destroy the pillars, so that doesn't make much sense, but the pillars will despawn after 5 minutes. So,
Yeah, so these pillars could block the boss's path. He couldn't
mm,
navigate past them, so now it has no
yeah,
longer a hitbox for the boss. The boss can walk through, so he can.
and
So
they,
it must be a rock golem then, or
yeah, yeah, like I
go
said, I
into
have no
caves,
idea. It
doesn't
sounds
it?
like it was the cave, yeah, so it's something interesting.
Huh.
But then a couple of bullet points below, they reduced the drill arrow damage from 85 to 25, but now it deals an additional 3 instances of damage over time after hitting the target.
Okay, so
So
base damage has been slashed.
reduced significantly.
Yeah,
So and then it's just
but it will do damage over time.
probably only on the armored component, because I presume the purpose of this nerf was to prevent the drill arrow from just being used everywhere, because 85 base is not bad at all. I think that's pretty high.
Yeah.
So, so
Yeah, but
considering
they
that,
probably gonna be costly to make.
depends. Just
Yeah.
why would you nerf it down if it's gonna be spawning and it's gonna be doing similar amounts of damage? Why would you introduce various mechanics such as damage over time and 3 instances of it, which have to be calculated separately,
True.
rather than just? I mean, I'm assuming it's to prevent from just bursting through the plate. If that's the reason, then great. But yeah,
Yeah, not like take the entire armor piece off in one go, but
yeah.
we'll see.
Exactly, but that's efficiency would be quick to switch to a bow that has the drill arrows equipped and then shoot,
Yeah.
break through the armor, switch back to a damaging weapon and then burst through and do a ton of damage. But that's the theory. Yeah, so the rock golem melee damage now scales based on the difficulty level, so I presume that wasn't, and now they have changed it to do
Well,
so.
they have a slight increase based on difficulty level, so it was already affected, but it's gonna
Oh,
the health and armor increase has been slightly increased,
well, it
slightly
just
upped.
states here the rock golem melee damage now scales based upon difficult level, so it might just be different like interpretation of the bullet point
Huh.
we already mentioned,
Yeah.
or it
No,
might
it is the
actually
melee
be that
damage, not the health and
no,
armor.
correct. No, I said the melee
Yeah.
damage. That's what I said. So maybe it was something that was missed from it, and then in addition to that, they increased it as well because it wasn't, representative. But like I said,
Yeah.
I don't know because it's just a simple bullet point. So, um,
It's gonna be a legendary bow. They added legendary bow reload, draw,
yeah,
fire,
yeah, I
etc.
saw
and
that. Yeah.
everything.
So it
So
is
it
a
does
new
look like
legendary, which
a
is nice.
complete new legendary weapon then.
Which is nice because the bow was something that we use a lot. So
Yeah.
it would be nice to have a bow, and it'd be pretty cool. So indeed, nice one.
Adding new
Um,
chance to deal double damage. Is that? Wow.
ooh, where's that?
One
Oh,
below
on the
add legendary
legendary.
bow reload.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, so it depends on the percentages. I
Yeah,
mean, I've already
does
got the
doesn't really stay.
15%.
Is this on? I think this is on one of them weapons, but it doesn't
Yeah,
really
it says
state.
on the.
The one below does state it, eh? Add a new endurance modifier in stats for one of the Ape Club modifiers.
Okay.
But the
Yeah,
chance
well,
to deal double damage doesn't really say it. Is it like gonna be a
which one?
talent
Yeah, is it the
or a
bow or
specific
is it a
weapon or a
club? Yeah, yeah,
module
true.
or
Yeah, yeah, fair point.
huh?
So skip that one. It's too open-ended. Everything gets a chance to do double damage. How about that? Awesome. Great.
Yeah. Basically,
Uh,
like the iron backpack gives everything a chance to do
yeah,
electric damage, even when you hit something with your fists.
yeah. Um,
Let's see. Oh, removing summon sandworm stat and replace with damage and projectile speed. Ah, the legendary sandworm bow is no longer going to give you a chance to spawn in a little sandworm to help you fight.
uh, Possibly, I don't know. I
Yeah,
can't
they
interpret it.
removed the summon sandworm stat. I was very enthusiastic when they
Oh,
released the info that the sandworm crossbow was going to have a chance to spawn in a,
yeah.
albeit smaller variant, of the sandworm
Yeah,
to
no,
help
yeah,
you fight.
correct. I remember.
And now they removed it. Eh.
Well, it was a small chance, I think, but yeah, either way, it's like, yeah, just additional logic, and then it's another creature that has to be, tracked to shoot enemies rather than friendlies, and, projectiles get spit, and AoE damage could be, detrimental, so it's an odd quirk, to be honest.
Oh,
So I just removed
would
it,
have been fun
simplified down.
though.
It really just depends. I technically don't like cave worms to begin with, because, yeah, they're not my favorite pets, but yeah, it's okay.
Adding
So I
rock
do.
golem world stat outcome for land sharks appearing in large caves.
Interesting.
So one of them we've talked about this before, like the great hunts. They like let you make some mutually exclusive
Hmm.
choices, which will change your
Yeah,
open world.
true,
So in order to test out all the different possibilities, you have to start a lot of open worlds. Um,
true, true.
One of those start outcomes is apparently the possibility for land sharks to appear in large caves.
That's pretty cool. There's
Where
a bit
right
more of
now the
a,
only way to encounter a land shark is run a thumper. If you don't want to run into a land shark, don't use a thumper.
yeah,
But this one is going to give you the possibility of encountering land sharks in big caves.
yeah,
Luckily not in small caves, but eh,
yeah,
interesting. Setting up new cave creature land shark for its appearing caves. Yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
And I just see that there was the ape fight was changed. They increased the healing phase from like a 4% apparently to 35%, as he seems to only heal once in the fight. Now, that's a very open-ended thing, because if it was, during testing, they only had like him go into the healing phase once because it's positional, or it's coded that he does enter healing only once, or is it like, we're going to fight him, he's going to heal 35%, some unluckiness happens, and then he heals another 35%, and then some more unluckiness happens, he heals another 35%,
Yeah, he's like,
and then I alt F4 and go make some coffee, because screw that, basically. So,
eh,
yeah, we'll see.
I don't know. Or does he heal back to 4% and now heal back to 35%?
Oh,
In order
yeah,
to
that's
make the fight last a bit longer, make it a bit
could
harder to
also
kill him.
be, but it just straight up says increased healing from 4 to 35%.
Yeah.
So yeah, it could be interpreted as, but it's, if he's down to 4% and then he heals to 4%, that is really, really, really low. So I think it's a flat percentage health
Yeah.
gain. And imagine taking him
Or
halfway and then he heals up
uh,
to like 85%, and then it's
uh,
like, oh well, geez, that sucks. But we'll do it again, and then, like I said, if it happens one more time, that's going to be very demoralizing.
we kind of had the
So
same with the freaking hammerhead.
yeah, yeah, for example, where he just was,
So
everything just healed back up the whole
yeah,
time, and
so
everything was
it
just
would
full
not
HP, and it
be
was,
new behavior as such.
yeah, but I mean, technically, yeah, I would say it really just depends on the condition. If it was like he jumps to the center of the tree, bashes his chest, and licks a wound, and then he's like up, 35%, and that happens once, okay, fine, that makes sense. But if he does that repeatedly, and it's going to be healing him 35% each time,
Well,
yes.
as he seemed to only heal once in a fight, if still healing only once in a fight, then we can
Yes,
handle a 35%.
but that's not a definitive statement,
True.
because he seemed to
Seems to
heal
be, yeah,
only heal
true.
once. in the fight? Question mark, perhaps at the end. Dot dot
True,
dot.
true.
Who knows?
Well,
Uh,
okay, so since they are daily playing and testing, I assume they will catch it if he constantly, like every 5 seconds, heals an additional 35%.
yeah, like I said, it will be making the fight pretty difficult, but
Yeah.
yeah, we will see what the end result is.
Reduce behemoth damage variation from 10% to 20%. I assume this is an alteration or an upgrade on one of the legendary weapons.
Mhm.
Uh, Update Noxious Cloud upgrade. Again, upgrades to one of the legendary weapons. Show the modifier.
Mhm.
Rock Golem Gauntlet significantly increase durability, reduce the full fuel use and fuel capacity. So they've been buffing that one.
Yeah,
Adding mining rewards and tweaked damage and attack speed. I think this is also from the Rock Golem Gauntlet. I think, but
could could be. But here's some more references to the drones. I think we've read the drones before that we
yeah,
thought it was like part of a like a assault from like the mission or prospectors or from one of the corporations.
yeah, like
The
there's
mission
this
was
base you
to
have to
shoot the
approach, and
boats.
then like there's drones
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
swarming
exactly.
around. And apparently there is a drone spawner
Which also makes
with some
sense.
lights, and those lights will go out when no more drones are queued to spawn.
Yeah,
So you know when the last drone has spawned, so you know the amount of drones you have to
yeah.
deal with.
And that's some buffs to the cave worm and sandworm.
Yeah.
Javelin damage. But other than that, it seems like that's the future content,
Yeah.
quote unquote.
So that's the patch notes. Some rather interesting stuff. Small pouches for this week. For next week, elemental damage, so to say, to resources on the Prometheus unlocked workshop equipment. That's going to be huge. But yeah, these were the patch notes, so we're going to take a quick break and then we will be starting a new Styx open world in where we will start kitting out a base for when Great Huns drops. Because we have an open world in Prometheus which we can use, and we will be starting a new one in Styx, center Styx area, close to that one central location which underwent a big terrain change a couple of weeks ago. And at some point we'll probably do an Olympus open world as well, depending on how quick we can build our base. Not gonna be a new character or a new nothing. No, it's gonna be like main character, space equipment. Let's get this base going.
Pretty much. It's
Yeah, so we will be dropping without any resources, but with space tools. So, yeah. So we're gonna take a say 10 minutes break, and then we will be back with a new stream gameplay. We will be doing our Styx open world creation. So, I would say thank you folks for being here. Really appreciate it. I hope you folks had a good time, and I hope I will see you in 10ish minutes in the next stream.